Hello, Milwaukee. How the hell are you? Will LaDuke here with you with yet another UN-sanctioned, UL-approved episode of Active Culture here on RiverWest Radio. As always, a hearty hail fellow well met to those fan faithful who take the time and trouble, and believe you me, it's a bit of an effort these days, to listen to us live here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. here on the right side of your radio dial at 104.1 FM. That's WXRW, folks, RiverWest Radio. And a slightly delayed, but hey, never any the less enthusiastic, how the hell are you, to those intrepid internet cadets who brave the wilds of the wilderness of the World Wide Web and seek out active culture as podcasts online, whether it's on the SoundCloud app directly or at our very own website, riverwestradio.com. That's, folks, where our reach then goes global. And a reminder, too, if we don't sound too needy saying this all the time, please seek us out and like us. That's Active Culture, folks, on Facebook. Well, we're in the month of September, and for the past 2 weeks now, last week and this, we are having ourselves a wee chat with the artiste extraordinaire, Bettina Madini. She is an artist, a singer, a writer, a workshop facilitator, and she dabbles in it all, folks. She's, working oil on canvas, acrylics, and silk art is one of the many fortes, one of the many shots in her locker, so to speak. And you can be part of the broadcast as well. You can do a little bit of multitasking on your part by going online to, get this, capital A-R, capital A-R-T-B-Y, capital BETTINA.ESTY.com, or just go to Bettina Madini, that's capital BETTINA, capital MADINI.com, and you can there bring up samples of the lovely Bettina's art to enjoy and savor while we talk about that very work, that very creation of art that she's discussing. So Bettina also has an ongoing exhibit at Gallery M at the Intercontinental Hotel in downtown Milwaukee, and we met with Bettina Madini there in order to file this active culture assignment. We're going to double back just a little bit on the interview and hit her with what I have been known to call, yes, the puff piece question here on RiverWest Radio, active culture. Yes. I probably should have opened with this question, but as a life in the arts, has that been something that was preordained from you? Was it like part of your genetic imperative? Like, were you in the crib with a paintbrush in your hand? What age were you when you decided, hey, this is something I can do?
I started it was right there when I was in grade school. What I did is I had the Walt Disney comics lying here, like Donald Duck and Mickey and all those, and I was drawing like crazy, like insane. I was drawing all the time, and I was actually really good, and so that was there, that desire to draw, to paint, and it was not until later, though, that I really chose that and do that. I first believed more into what my surroundings said, that, oh, it's not safe to be an artist, and you better work in a bank and
security,
have a safe job. And
right. Now, were you getting that from your parents and from people around you as well, that have something to fall back on just in case?
Sure, yes, I got that. Oh no, don't be an artist. I was actually a teenage actress. When I was 14, I shot my first movies and TV series while I was still living in Berlin. And my parents, they allowed me to do it, so they didn't keep me from doing it, but then they did not want me to pursue that because they saw the risk and they tried to protect me from the harsh world of artists and, movie theater and all that.
Well, the level of insecurity, you're literally having to fight for every job.
Yes, and then the funny thing, though, is then I was in banking for 11 years, and I could see then how nothing really is safe. I saw then the mergers and acquisitions and many banks going out of business, and then also the fight that is going on in there. It's not like this is a great world. And really, I think when we follow that which gives us joy,
follow your bliss.
yeah, and we also know where we are good, and we always stay in question about where do I go, who can contribute to this, what is it, what would I like to create. We can really find happiness no matter where. It might be in a bank, it might be working in a coffee shop, it might be anywhere actually. It's really, the question really is, what is it? Are you happy? What can you add to your life that will create that for you, right?
Right. And let's face it, life's too short. Why not go after something, that inspires you?
Yes.
Because I imagine you felt financial security working in the bank, but didn't you also feel like maybe a part of your soul was dying every day going in there?
Well, the funny thing is, I didn't have more money than I have now. It's all a myth, because when you are not happy, you will spend all the money that comes in, and you think that creates happiness. It doesn't. Money is actually not creating happiness. It is happiness. Happiness has to be chosen before. And happiness, what if that is a choice that we all can make, and then money will come no matter what we do. Right? Because when we are happy, it's all these stories of where people start at the bottom and they work and they also know where they are going and they know what they want to create, and they work their way through, they create actually, and they achieve it. But it's not that people who have a lot of money, and we see this currently also with so many people who have billions of dollars. I really wonder, and I ask you all, are they really happy? Some of them might be, but most of them are not. It's not money that creates happiness. It is our choices.
Sure.
And also, what do we create with our money? So that.
Now, what would you say, when you well, let me just ask this. Let's get the noise to calm down here. When you're working on a painting, when do you know that you've applied the last brush stroke? When do you know you're finished with something? Is it part of the process where it's instinctive and you just know that's done? Or what I'm asking is, are you a perfectionist? When do you know that piece is done?
I just know. And I just know. It's really a great question, because it's true. Anybody could paint on a painting forever, right? Mm-hmm. When is it ever done? There's no benchmark, right?
Right.
And so I just know it. And I have paintings that I painted within 3 hours, huge canvases within 3 hours, and others that I painted over a period of 7 years.
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
Right?
Now, is that perfectionism on your part, where you're just not satisfied, you put it away, you come back to it later? What is it?
It is more of something is not quite finished yet. There is still something that is missing, or something else, and I just let it be then. I put it somewhere else and I paint on a different painting. I usually work on several paintings simultaneously anyway, and so I just let it be. And as I said before, it might be that I travel even to a different country and I see something there, like a color, a flower, or whatever, or I hear a word that triggers something in me, and I know I go back in my studio and I apply that, and that's it. And it's sometimes just a little dot of a magenta or something, and wow, yeah, that. And I'm then also asking questions: are you done, or is there more? And at times,
is that like a puzzle analogy, where you're just looking for that last piece to complete the puzzle, or?
Yeah, if I'm getting the sense of something is not finalized yet, there's still something, I just leave it and let it be. And when this will come to me, I have no idea. It might come from another painting that I'm working on. It's like, oh yeah, that. Okay, that. And I apply also something like that, whatever that is, a color or a shape or whatever. And it will bring me to the space of, it's really just, I think it's a very personal thing of knowing when something is done.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just this sensation. It's also our knowing that is so undefined. I cannot define it. It is, when I had my first art education in Luxembourg at the Contemporary School of Art, I had a great education about color, Kandinsky's color theory, where my first painting was black and white only. And then my teacher, Jean-Marc Tosselot, had me paint a painting only in reds, just and only reds. And then the next was just and only oranges. And now Bettina, just and only paint in yellows or greens or blues. And so then when I said, okay, Jean-Marc, I'm done now. And so we were both together looking at the blue painting as an example. And he said to me, okay, just get in touch with it. And where do you notice it in your body? What do you notice in your body? Is this painting finished? Yes or no? Is there something missing? And when I got that there was something missing, he was like, okay, Bettina, tap into what is missing, what is it? And then we were like together talking about this, and actually it gave me so many gifts because it brought my body into the creation process. My body showing me that something is not quite there yet. And then
so you're going beyond the intellectual, and this becomes just pure, I don't know, what's the word for it? Emotion, I guess?
No, it's really it's the knowing of our bodies. What does your body, like our bodies are so much more than just like bodies. They know also, and I use my body and it will give me signs when something, and we are on radio here, so I cannot show you this when I'm now doing an it's like, you see this, it's like, something is not quite there yet. So I'm asking questions. What is it?
There's a creative urge in you.
Right. What is it, and what does it require? And so my body is my companion in creation. And the moment I start asking questions about what is it that is missing, and the beauty is my teacher, Jean-Marc, he did not have a point of view. He did not want me to find what was missing, that he had decided was missing. No, he had no point of view. It's like he was asking these questions, and then I learned to ask questions, and I found, okay, there's a color missing here, or there's a shade of blue missing here. And so I mixed it, which also taught me mixing colors in many different ways, which is a gift in itself.
Sure.
And so then I came to this, I said to him, well, now I feel complete. He said, okay, good, then it's done.
That's what it is. It's a sense of completion then on your part. No, okay.
Yeah.
But, when you have like, when you're a perfectionist, is it the pursuit of perfection for your own satisfaction, or is it pursuit of perfection to find a truth, an inner truth?
So I want to say it's less perfection for me. I'm not looking for perfection because that would have so many judgments. What is perfection?
Right.
I think it's really more this creation, like John Lennon would put in intentionally notes that were a little bit off, and that created an effect. And when you look at microtonal music, it's like the slightly, what we could call slightly off, is also creating. So where do we go with perfection, right? So for me, it's not really perfection. It's more like the painting is complete. So the painting as this creative being is ready to go into the world. And anybody could tell me, Bettina, you could have put a white flower into this painting. And I could say, sure, I could have put a moon in there, anything, right?
Yeah.
Because they have a point of view of that would be perfection. So I think perfection is really something that is, anybody can have any point of view about anything, and they could tell me, oh, the shadow is not perfect. It's like, yeah, there might not even be shadow in there. And they could tell me, Bettina, the way the lighting is coming in is not perfect. But I'm not looking at that, right?
So you're not attaining a level of perfection per se, but just creative satisfaction?
Yes, and yes, and the painting is what it is, and it creates what it creates for people, for the viewer, and they take out of it what they want to take out of it. That's where I'm letting go.
Right.
It's like a child is in the world, and is it perfect? It's to the viewer to say that. And what if nothing is perfect, but everything creates something?
Okay. Now, I wanted to talk about this because with writers, we'll write something, we'll put it out in the world, maybe we'll revisit it later, do some revisions, that sort of thing. When you finish a painting, it's done. And oftentimes, like with musicians, they share their songs, or the writers, they share their written work. But with you, you're giving that. When you sell something, you're giving that away. That, it's. Do you ever find that you suffer from maybe separation anxiety with having to give away these things? Like, because you're literally giving a piece of your soul here when you're selling a canvas, aren't you?
I'm contributing, actually, and it's very joyful. I'm contributing it to whoever is buying it, and I'm always creating more. And I know I don't have any anxieties, or that I'm not feeling separation. It's actually very beautiful, and it's like I see myself as this source for creation of whatever, joy comes out of me, and there's so much. I think if I would sell even more paintings, I would even create more. You know what I want to say? Because that what if this is a spring? Have you ever seen a spring? I saw this once in Wisconsin, and it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. Somebody showed me where a spring, water was coming out of the sandy soil, out of the earth. And it was this little tiny hole in the sand, and the water was just bubbling out of there, and it was just always bubbling. And I saw this, and it, what if we are that source of, nothing is ever limited or finished or done with. And so what else? Then it's just, what else can I create? And that's the joy for me of, if it contributes joy to people and their spaces, their homes, their businesses, wherever they will hang the painting, that is also such a joy to me.
Now, when you're working, do you ever, do you hit that glass ceiling sometimes where you're kind of burned out and you just feel like I just can't seem to express anymore here? And when that happens, what do you do? I mean, I interviewed Todd Mrozinski, an artist, and he would say, well, if it's a situation where I'm in the studio, and he pointed to the couch, I'll take a nap, and that'll refresh me. Or if I'm really blocked, I'll go to the art museum, and I'll see other works, and that might inspire me. Mm-hmm. What do you do when you get a block? What works for you?
Yeah,
do you pick up the guitar maybe and sing a little, or
when I'm tired and I worked a lot and things like that, or my body is really tired, a great source for energizing me is going out in nature.
Okay.
Just going out into the forest and being out there, everything changes for me. And then also, yes, taking my guitar and just singing. Yes, that.
Now, is it a case of maybe tapping into a different section of the brain to kind of maybe loosen things up? Or is it just, no, I'm just going to express myself differently today?
Yeah, it's just, it is. There's no, I don't see my brain as in different sections or what. It's really all about, it's like a choice that is just there in this second. What can I choose now that would change this energy? It's like I ask really, I ask a lot of questions. And hey, body, what do you require? I'm literally asking my body, what do you require today? Where do you want to go? And so sometimes then I go, I'm next to a beautiful lake. And so going down to the water and just sitting there on the pier and having my feet in the water and just looking at the fish and just being out there. And then there's the breeze and the sun, and then I go walk and I'm by the trees, and that for me, that changes everything. And so I think it's really good for everybody. Also, what is really great too for me? It's taking a bath.
Yeah, nothing like a clawfoot bathtub, and
right? And
right
so
good soak.
I know, right? And so it's really great if everybody would know what is creating that for me, because literally when I'm in the bathtub and I'm just there, it changes everything. And I put beautiful salt in there, right? And I'm recharging my batteries, and it is really going fast then also, and I'm right back and literally walking by a lake. In Wisconsin here we have these gorgeous lakes, all this water. I mean, just go out or go running, or or for me also being with horses. I love that too.
Does it work in an urban milieu? Like, would you be able to go out into the city today and maybe get around people in a park somewhere and maybe draw from them? I mean,
Of course, yeah, yes.
something like, maybe the architecture in the city, that kind of thing. Do you draw inspiration from that as well?
Architecture, like any concrete, less. Like when I'm really tired and I'm really, really, really tired, it's more like I would go to a tree. I would not go to a building. Although I love architecture, but for recharging my batteries, it's really this nature that is doing it for me, like walking barefoot on grass and sitting by a tree and just allowing the tree to give energy to my body, That is so beautiful.
Gorgeous. Now, would you say that painting and developing your art is primarily your focus in your artistic endeavors, or like do you devote equal time to the singing, equal time to the public speaking? If you had to describe what you do,
yeah,
are you an artist?
I am an artist. I'm a creator, and I am a world beautifier. So this is how I say on my Instagram page.
Okay.
And with that, it could be really anything. It's what I say to the universe: hey, show me, where do I go? Who can I inspire? And where is that earth? Where would you like me to go? And where are the people who can hear and would love to hear what I have to say?
Mm-hmm.
And it can show up in classes. I also facilitate classes. It can be speaking. It can be anything where I'm then invited to go somewhere, or a gallery finds about my work and then they invite me for a show, or it's all of that. So I am an artist, I'm a painter, and I also, for me, this painting has been an amazing contribution to me. So I received a lot from my paintings, and I would love to give that gift forward into the world. Now, when I do creativity classes, I don't have the point of view that everybody has to be a painter.
Right.
But what is it that you would love to create, where right now we can just uncave and uncarve that, what it is for you right now, because that can for you also change over the years. But
Sure.
Right now, what is it, and what points of view are actually sitting in the way that keep you
What are the
from
obstacles?
just exploring it? Yeah, the obstacles, exactly.
And what do you find that usually is the case? Is it insecurity on the part of the potential artist, maybe, that I just don't think I can do this, or what?
Well, a lot of times people have been judged in the past already as children.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said something about their drawings. Oh, you are not good at this. You
Yeah.
cannot do that.
That's
Or-
not how a tree looks.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Or were even classmates were laughing about something they created, and they started shrinking. So it's these judgments that sit there. Or somebody told them, you cannot sing, you don't have a voice. Like, when we believe these things is when we actually start diminishing ourselves.
Sure.
And what if we don't believe that, right? And so it's really about taking judgments out of our universes. And so there's a great book that I contributed to, and it's The Power of Releasing Judgment. So it's really all about the tools. I think the book is, it's a compilation. I think we were 20 different writers, and we all write about this judgment thing from different angles, and it gives great tools. So if any of the listeners are interested in letting go of judgments about what they can create and cannot create, well, it's The Power of Releasing Judgment. Just find it on Amazon, and it's a great book, and it has really tons of tools to use to find out what can you actually create if you don't judge it.
Right. So you would recommend any potential artists out there, the first thing you need to do is get a thick skin, right? Because there's going to be haters out there. And I was interviewing a singer last week, and she'd mentioned that the one thing that she abhors more than anything else is when you have teachers out in the world that aren't inspired by what they're teaching. They're just going through the motions. And that this is often the times where you have potential artists, musicians, who are crushed because they've got a teacher who just doesn't have the fire in their belly. They just don't have that, and they seem judgmental. As a result. Yeah.
Of course, I had even a teacher in New York City, and she said to me, "Bettina, you cannot paint a face blue." And I said, "Why can I not paint this face blue? I mean, what is with all the expressionist artists, right?"
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Because faces are not blue." And I said, "Have you seen Avatar?"
Yeah. Hello, Blue Man Group. You've been listening to part 2 of a two-part interview with Bettina Madini, artiste extraordinaire. And a reminder once again, yes, she is exhibiting her works live at Gallery M. That's in downtown Milwaukee here, folks. Located in the Intercontinental Hotel, and that's going on until the end of this month. You have 18 whole days from this point onwards to catch the brilliant work of this amazing artist, this incredible individual, and a really good sport in an interview, too, let me tell you. She cracked me up. What can I tell you, folks? I'm just that kind of guy. So, yes, by all means, she's going to have herself she's going to be holding a closing party as well, a closing reception for this this brilliant new exhibit that she has going on at Gallery M. I highly, highly suggest that you go online to any of the websites we've been giving you throughout this interview here. Just Google Bettina Madini, and or go to capital B, Bettina, capital M, Madini, all one word then, .com, and you'll get the latest. You'll get the lowdown. You will get word on the closing ceremony for this exhibit, and get a chance to meet the woman herself, and hopefully you've gotten an idea of just how cool she is in the last 2 installments here of Active Culture here on RiverWest Radio. You're listening to WXRWLP 104.1 FM Milwaukee. To hear past episodes, visit riverwestradio.com/shows and click Active Culture. Next week, we're going to have our good friend, and if we've got anything close to having a regular on this show, it's our friend David Cesarini. He'll be back to talk about the new season going on at the Next Act Theater, and we'll be chatting with David about that, and a little bit maybe about his time, what he did for his summer vacation. That's all coming up on RiverWest Radio here on WXRWLP Milwaukee 104.1 FM on the right side of your dial.